Hope you're doing well today. Appreciate you joining me. We're going to be looking at the light of the world passage in the Gospel of Matthew. Our hymn today is called Does Your Signal Light Shine?
Does your signal light shine, oh my brother, save, lighting the path of the feet that stray, warning the heedless who unawares will surely be caught in the tempter's snare. Does it shine? Does it shine? Does it shine? Does it shine? Does it shine and flash in the dark of night? Does it shine? Does it shine? Oh, say does your signal light shine? Does your signal light shine far out o'er the wave, where the lifeboats are speeding some soul to save? Are you earnestly seeking the lost to win and drinking the ransom of lust and sin? Does it shine? Does it shine? Does it shine? Does it shine? Does it shine and flash in the dark of night? Does it shine? Does it shine? Oh, say does your signal light shine? Does your signal light shine? Do you tell the lost of the wonderful love of redemption's cost? Are you prayerfully telling the sin-sick soul that the love of Christ alone can make it whole? Does it shine? Does it shine? Does it shine? Does it shine? Does it shine and flash in the dark of night? Does it shine? Does it shine? Oh, say does your signal light shine?
We'll look at the last verse. Does your signal light shine should the bridegroom come? Are you ready with sheaves for the harvest home? Have you souls who redeemed from the blight of sin are awaiting his summons to enter in? Does your signal light shine? Matthew chapter 5, verse 13. You are the salt of the earth, but if the salt loses its flavor, how shall it be seasoned? It is then good for nothing but to be thrown out and trampled underfoot by men. You are the light of the world. A city that is set on a hill cannot be hidden. Nor do they light a lamp and put it under a basket, but on a lampstand, and it gives light to all who are in the house. Let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father in heaven. One of the points that we probably should make is remember who he's talking to. His disciples came to him. So it's not the whole multitude. He's talking to his disciples. And so he uses these two figures of the salt and the light. What's the point of the salt? If salt loses its flavor, how shall it be seasoned? It's good for nothing. He wants them to fulfill their purpose. People want to know what their purpose is. Why are we here? Why are we created? Our raison d'etre. Our reason to be. And if we are not fulfilling our purpose, then what good are we? If we're not fulfilling our purpose, then we're pretty much like what Paul talks about, just wild beasts ready to be caught and destroyed. Sad thing is that at least the beasts of the field fulfill their purpose. But if we are not fulfilling ours, we're even worse. Been created in God's image. We should be like the one who created us. And if we're not, then why are we here? Something to think about, I suppose. So then he goes to the light of the world passage. Now, why would someone hide? A city that is set on a hill cannot be hidden. Why would you hide the light? Well, it's because of what we spoke about yesterday. Because of persecution. Because of rejection. Because of rejection, it can be very tempting to hide the light. When someone, when we try to speak to someone about the gospel and we get shot down once, twice, it can be very discouraging. Just think about the parable of the sower. The sower goes out to sow, and, some of it falls on the wayside, and some of it falls on the rocky ground, and some of it falls on the thorny ground, and man, only just a little bit springs up and gives any fruit. How discouraging. Can you imagine if you're a farmer and from the seeds you plant, you only get good germination out of, 5%? How long would you stay a farmer? Well, the gospel's a little different. You have to keep at it. You can't give up. Because if you give up, you're like the salt that's lost its flavor. You're like the person who tries to hide their light. And it just doesn't work. And so, what we're supposed to do is let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works. It's an interesting thing in the Sermon on the Mount, which is where we are. We let our light shine before men that they may see your good works, but we do not do our works just to be seen by men. We're not looking for men's applause. That's covered later on in the same sermon. And so, let me see if I can find that, because there's a difference, and sometimes people kind of try to blur that. They try to blur that line a little bit. This is Matthew chapter 6, verse 1, right in the same sermon. Take heed that you do not do your charitable deeds before men to be seen by them, otherwise you have no reward from your Father in heaven. Do your charitable deed in secret. Well, someone's going to know about your charitable deed. Even as you do your charitable deed in secret, someone's going to know about it, and who is it? It's the recipient of the charity. The point is, you don't do like the Pharisees. How'd the Pharisees do it? They would blow a horn so that everybody would know. And see, that's the thing. Sometimes people start blowing their own horn, so to speak. And they're looking for men's applause. And that's not why we're supposed to be doing it. We're not supposed to be looking for men's applause. We're supposed to be pointing people towards God. Verse 16. That's what we're supposed to be doing. Yes, we work to be seen. We let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works. But if they're giving us the attention and not glorifying God, that's probably a pretty good sign something's wrong. That's one reason. Just as I said that, I thought of, was it Paul and Barnabas when they were at a certain place, and all of a sudden the natives who were coming from a pagan background started trying to sacrifice to them, and they're like, no, do not do that. You glorify God. Don't glorify us. Stand up, Peter said. I too am just a man. And so we learn those lessons. But nonetheless, we do let our light so shine before men that they may see our good works and glorify God. Hope you have a good day. Join us tomorrow for another portion of our Daily Praise.